It's Big Mouthy.
So my name's Camden, and this is my wife, Kirsten. We run CLT.Living here in Charlotte, and basically what we do is we're a couple here in Charlotte, and we showcase specifically things that you could do as a couple here in Charlotte. You can check us out on Instagram, but we also manage social medias for restaurants, the hospitality industry mostly. We do ads, we do content creation, that sort of thing too. So that's what we do. We're here to help Charlotte business owners one way or another.
Yeah, perfect. So how did CLT.Living actually get its start? What's the backstory behind, the brand there?
Yeah, so I think we're coming up on almost 4 years of
Wow.
CLT.Living. So basically, we were just taking lots of pictures and doing fun stuff. Like, we're not homebodies. We like to go out and do stuff. And
Yeah.
our friends were always asking us, how, what are you doing? How are you finding out about these things? So we started posting them. I think we always knew in the back of our head we wanted to be business owners, but it really started out as a fun hobby for us. And then I think anything we do all out. So we're posting consistently, working with lots of business, just finding all these cool places. And then within about a year, we started monetizing on that. And then from that, we just made it our full-time job along with Diggs Designs.
So what were you guys doing job-wise before you started, CLT.Living?
So I worked in construction sales actually for about 4 years. So random right out of college. So that's what I was doing.
Yeah, and I actually did politics,
Nice.
as fun as that sounds. Yeah, I kind of got burned out of it. I was traveling, like you were saying, you travel a lot now.
Yeah.
I was traveling state to state, like multiple times a week. And it was, when you're doing something so passionate that so many people care about, and it's like emotional based,
Yeah.
I feel like it was really draining, and it was really refreshing to get out of that space. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's awesome. So was there a point where, you guys saw your channel growing, you're like, okay, we can do this full time. We have our traditional jobs, but this could be really something that can make us money and make us even happier than we were before.
Yeah. So I know Cam got into a weird position
Yeah.
with another job,
Mhm.
and then he decided to leave that position. So he was working full time originally, and I was doing a lot of the editing and stuff after work. And I think there was a point where it started moving from passion to business and a mix. So I was doing it the same, so much work after my full-time job that it was if we want to go all in on this, we need the time to do it. And it wasn't something we kind of thought lightly on. It took years, or honestly a year of praying and planning and
Yeah.
saving up and making sure that we can make this dream a reality.
What do you think the hardest part about transitioning or even taking that jump would be, or was?
Well, I think her story was more gradual, as where mine was we had obviously been deliberating doing this for quite some time in some degree, but mine was kind of more all right, we're gonna do this. We don't really have anything set up.
Right.
I'm gonna set it all up and get everything ready so that when we're in a better position, she can come on and handle that sort of thing. So it was not as big of a transition for me because I was already traveling a lot and kind of remote work and stuff like that. And I think that really helped. I was basically kind of working for myself,
Right.
in a lot of ways, having my own goals, my own responsibilities and that sort of thing. So that was not that bad. And you coming from sales, I mean, I feel like
It's
it's a very similar vibe to that.
But I think just preparing as much as you can. I like the idea of doing it part-time while you can,
Yeah.
because then you're building it up. It's not like you're starting from 0 to 100 all
That's
at
true.
once. But I will say, no matter how much you do prepare, I remember when we finally decided to take that leap, I cried that whole week. And it was I knew this was my dream and I was excited. It's just overwhelming knowing it's all in your hands now.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's exciting though,
Yeah.
regardless, once you make it happen.
That's really cool. So how do you guys navigate, being husband and wife and working together? You spend a lot of time together. People say sometimes you shouldn't work together, but you guys seem always happy. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some stresses and whatnot to everything, but how do you guys, navigate that world? Both.
That is our most asked question. It's so funny. Honestly, it's not a problem for us. So we have different responsibilities. Is really we have 2 offices. We work from home, but we have 2 offices. So it's I'm working on customer relationships, editing, scheduling things, where Cam does a lot of the behind the scenes of website finances, cold outreach. And so with that, it's we set scheduled meetings to when we're going to work together, but most of the time we're doing our own thing. So it's really a good mix. I feel like we then after work, it's like we appreciate our alone time probably a little more than other people
Sure.
do, but at the same time, we still have a good date night and getting together. I think it's just keeping it very organized and separated,
Yeah.
so you're not driving down each other's throat all the time. You know?
Yeah, treat it like like it is a real business. Treat it like a real business,
Right.
and you'll go far from that. I think if a lot of people, they get caught up in the flexibility of being a business owner, but I think you really have to be more so disciplined than being just not just being an employee. You have to, like, you have someone else who's pushing your decisions, pushing you to do certain things, as where you're doing it all on your own. So if you get lax, if you get out of swing of things, like, that's on you. That's on both of us to figure out how to get back together. That's not always easy. So staying on top of it is more important, I think, than anything else.
Right, and you just listed a whole bunch of things that are like not always seen. Like, you see the post,
Yes.
but there's a million other things that go beyond the post.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that you learned as you guys were doing it, or do you think it came naturally to you just because you were in sales and you traveled a lot, you see a lot of people, and a lot of experiences?
I think we knew. I don't think we knew how much.
Yeah.
Because and even like as we started part-time, a lot of those things we didn't have to do. But as the business grows, you do have to be really organized and keep track of all your taxes. You have to you probably know more about that, actually. I'm like, what do we do?
All about the client relations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have to do.
But
I mean, you have all these contracts you're going through. You have all these deadlines you have to hit, and like keeping all of that organized, making sure, like she said, you're tracking all of your receipts that you're using for your business, just in case. You're making sure that you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's as much as possible. I think do more organization than you think you should, and you'll always be in a pretty good spot, in my opinion. Because if you have a track and record of every single thing, even if something was wrong, like, it's going to be easy to figure out the right answer, to that situation. Versus if you don't have that information, you're just kind of out of luck.
I will say, even like with the creation side of things, it's like there's so much that's going in if you're working with a brand, all the negotiations, all of the learning behind the scenes. We've taken like a lot of classes and stuff to learn how to do all of this. And, scheduling with them, planning, editing, like all this stuff. Sometimes we'll take our friends with us to content shoots and they're like, I have no idea. This is how much goes into this production. You know what I mean? It doesn't just pop out like you see online. Like that's the feeling you're supposed to create, but there's so much behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Being social media myself, I even when I was just coming from college to a corporate world or a nonprofit world, it was a lot more than I thought it was, which is it's good and bad. Like, there's no really bad to it. Just you have to learn and you grow with it as well. Something I find interesting, like just working, is like the brand deals. Like, do you guys remember your first brand deal, and like how did it make you feel for somebody to reach out to you and be like, we want your content on our page? I thought that was like a really good feeling.
Yes, I remember this. I sent this to Cam because I think it was maybe 3 years ago that it happened. It came up in my memories, and our first one was not paid. It was just like a partnership, and we were so excited.
Yeah.
And it was with Sipco, which is out in Concord. They do like the fancy sodas.
Oh, okay.
And I remember going out there, we were posing, we had the tripod, and it just was really cool to be able to do that. And then later, I think when we hit a milestone of like 5,000 followers, we got to partner with them again to do like a giveaway, which felt like a really full circle moment.
Do you have like a favorite type of content that you guys like to produce? So like, is it like restaurants, is it events? Saw you guys were at
Love and Life.
Love and Life Festival.
Yeah.
It looked so fun. I had tickets to go, but unfortunately due to a medical issue, couldn't go. But it looked like so much fun, and just Charlotte was popping that weekend. Kendrick and SZA on one day, Teddy Swims, and the festival. Was that a good time out there?
Yeah, traffic was a mess for sure. But Charlotte actually has a pretty good traffic system, I think. I mean, people talk about drivers mostly in Charlotte. They don't talk about the traffic as much in Charlotte. It's more the driver situation. But no, I mean, definitely restaurants, definitely the hospitality events falling in that category as well. I would say we shoot mostly restaurants, food, beverage industry. It really works out good because our brand, like I said earlier, is couple focused for CLT.Living at least. So it's nice that we work so much in that sphere with CLT.Living and then we work, most of our clients are in that sphere for social media management or content creation too. So it's like works together really well, gives us a really specialization, expertise in that field. So it really helps out.
Every once in a while we get to do things that are like animal focused. I feel
Oh,
like that
okay.
is always such a fun content shoot day. Like we've worked with like
Yeah.
zoos or like
Darby Safari Zoo here.
safaris or like all these like farms, and I feel like that's always just a fun little thing. But that's
Yeah.
obviously one off.
Okay, so that's the good end of it.
Yeah.
What do you think are your biggest stressors when it comes to like business side of it? Like, what maybe like some people just don't see, or maybe like something that you could do without, we'll say.
I think time is the biggest thing. Using your time as best as you possibly can is super important, but then not getting stressed out about how you're using your time
Right.
is also important. I think having like a strategic meetings where you're even maybe limiting the amount of time you're doing it, specific agenda for that meeting, and planning out in advance like what you're doing each week and what you're trying to accomplish at the beginning of the week. All that is so critical in actually creating a solid business that's going to run for a longevity and not just like a few weeks and then burn out kind of deal. But yeah, I think time is one of the hardest struggles for sure.
To build off of that, I would say the things that I think we're finding that we may have loved at the beginning, it's like as you continue to grow and like volume increases, you want to keep that passion for the creativity and not feel like it's so overworked. So little things like that, we're just now getting to the point where we're learning to outsource some of that.
Okay.
And that's really like right now we're looking for like someone to help us with video editing, which is great because I love doing it. But when you've got like tens and tens that just keep adding up, it's like, it's a little bit of a burnout. Whereas Cam, I know, like taxes, as soon as they get crazy, he's like, oh gosh, I could do without these. But yeah.
Definitely get that. And so when did you guys get to a point where you feel like, okay, we've been doing this for a little bit of time. We now feel like we can guide other brands into success, with Diggs Design. That's Diggs Design, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, remember. How did, what was the process of creating that, like that,
Yeah, so Diggs Design was originally like mostly graphic design, and then it evolved in printing, and then it evolved into website design on top of that, where we were managing and creating websites for people. And that was fine and dandy and all. And honestly, a lot of that is marketing, and it super falls into a similar niche to where we are now. And it helped us develop a lot of those skills and stuff when we were early on in our business, and it was a great skill to have. But now we outsource. Now we just partner with the company. If someone needs website design, we just send it over there.
Yeah.
And we're special in social media. But the experience we got through CLT.Living, we were just doing so much on social media that we kind of realized how important it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of these brands we saw, like, man, they would just have like like their bartender or their son or something like that just coming in, like just doing a little bit here and there, just running wheels for nothing basically.
Yeah.
And we were just like, that's really not helping these businesses out. We could certainly do it. We got certification in social media management and advertising through Meta, the people who own Facebook, Instagram. To do it, and then we just dove deep and started, really helping people out. So
I will say at the very beginning, Cam worked when he was in politics. He worked a little bit with social media management and graphic design. So that's kind of what got us the idea. And I think as soon as CLT.Living started growing, like we were learning as we were going because we were doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think for me personally, I think it's a little different for Cam, but like I think confidence is the biggest thing because I think that self-doubt comes around sometimes, but it's so refreshing when like we just met with one of our clients. We do like monthly meetings with them to like touch base, and they're like, your editing is so great, or like I'll get an email like, oh my gosh, Kirsten, this person commented, like this famous athlete comment on my post. I'm like, oh great, like, and it's like those little things that just kind of keep you going and keep the confidence, because we have the experience, we have the specialty, but of course, like as a creative, you always want to be better and better.
Of course, that's all really cool. I think the first time I saw you guys, my mom was coming down to Charlotte, and she wanted to go to fun dining.
Deluxe
Fun Deluxe Dining. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I went on the website and I went on the Instagram. I was like, oh, they have gold plated dishes. And it wasn't until like a few days ago I was doing the research for this interview. I was like, wait, I've oh, okay, that's them. That's really cool. So it was like a little bit of full circle moment.
That's
I was like, that's
great.
really cool. So that means your content's getting out there for sure. And I mean, Fun Deluxe Science has the gold things, and so it's
Yeah.
really cool. But what advice do you guys have out there for people, maybe either a single person or a couple looking to grow their Instagram? Doing things like you go into restaurants, and maybe
Yeah.
right now they're just going to restaurants, filming, posting.
I think the biggest thing in this niche is you have to be consistent. Like, of course, you can take like some time off or whatever, but if you really want to make it, like, you need to be posting like for Instagram like 3 to 5 times a week. Like, you need to stay consistent, and then obviously different for every platform, but don't just take it as like a side thing. And then I would say it takes a while to get it built up to where you can, like, if you want to make it your business. So if that is your goal, like, it really has to be passionate and authentic to you at the beginning, because you are going to be doing a lot of that, like, on your own time at the beginning.
Right.
And I think just on a technical standpoint, I would say niching down. So, like, we are fun things to do in Charlotte for couples. Like, we work with people mostly in their 20s and 30s. That's our age range. To where, as if you're doing like dogs, like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you really need to like find that audience and have that be your place.
That makes sense.
So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I would say, take it seriously. People are only going to take your business as serious as you like portray it to be, if that makes sense. So have the meetings, like, be serious about it. It's just like sports growing up. They would always be like, you're only cheating yourself if you like do that half push-up or
Right.
whatever. In your business, you're only cheating yourself. You're literally not cheating anyone else.
It's true.
By not providing and doing the best that you can in these situations. So I think that's really critical. And doing what you say you're going to do is also really important to help build that brand name up, reputation, etc. You don't want to have a reputation of someone who isn't
Right.
necessarily doing what you're going to do. Even in a city as large as Charlotte, that reputation gets around. So be careful what you put out, because it's what you're going to get back for sure.
I would say one other thing, like on a creative standpoint, Cam and I have noticed, like, I think like sometimes in the beginning it's scary to put it out, but like, I look back at our first things.
Yeah.
Of course we have grown, but like, we never would have grown if we wouldn't have posted that at the beginning.
Right.
And I think also, like, don't be afraid to learn. We have, like, every year we've taken either a course or like a 12-week like intensive like study or something, just like little things to help you grow. Like, there's even like free YouTube channels. Like, always stay on top of it and find ways to be better, like, each day.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook even offer like free webinars and stuff like that if you sign up to their newsletter. So that's an option for people.
Wow. That's really cool. And so, final question: does eating now feel like a job to you guys?
Oh
Do
my
it
gosh.
That's a great question.
Honestly, sometimes. We were just talking about this because sometimes restaurants will bring out so much food, way more than you would normally order, because
Right.
they want it all featured. And then a lot of times, like, we don't want to be wasteful, so we take it home and then you're eating leftovers. I'm like, Cam, how are we going to get all this food eaten? And it's like, like, we've messaged, it's not like we can like donate it or anything.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's hard. I think when we're going and we know we're working, it's like almost like kind of a production. Like, it's fun, but like, we're filming, we're posing all the stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
So
The food's cold by the time
I
we
know,
get it.
that's what we keep saying. Like, if you actually have to eat it,
you
it's
don't
not
get the
as
best
Right.
Yes.
experience. You're certainly there to work.
Right.
But I will say, like, we still make like restaurant date nights. I think we've kind of realized that when it's just for fun for us, like, we get to do all these fun, really cool restaurants. Like, when we're working, I think sometimes we just like to be a little bit more chill.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we make sure that we're either filming, working, or we're not at all.
At all,
Like,
yeah.
so it's like really that balance, because yes, it's fun, but is it a date? I don't really think so. Versus
yeah.
like when you're doing it just you guys, then it is, you know?
That's true.
And also, we want to still support these businesses that
Right.
we're working with too. So it's like we try and come out of our way to like go and like see them or like do something with them, like or eat there specifically or whatever, because of that. And it's just like that can be a little bit tiresome, especially when it's just like, oh, we just went like a week ago. You know what I mean? But dating, I think, is the worst part about it, because like our content shoots are literally meant to be dates,
Right.
like to the eye
Yeah.
when they're showcased on social media. And so like we're trying to make it feel like a date when we're there. And it can really like mess with your brain as far as like what is a date, what isn't a date,
Right.
you know, like is this work, is it not? Like it can whenever you're not working and you're just going out on a date, it can still feel like
Work.
like you're, I don't know, there's some tension there for
Gotcha.
sure.
I remember telling our parents, like, for like an occasion, they were like, what do you want for like Christmas or birthday? I was like, maybe like a restaurant gift card. They're like, you're kidding me. You go out to eat. I was like, no, but like for a date. Like,
Yeah.
it's different. And I think that's the funniest thing to get a hold of.
Yeah, well, that's so awesome. I really appreciate you guys for coming on.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to look here and see where they can find you, Instagram, all TikTok, whatever they can find you on.
We are on all platforms, but definitely follow us on Instagram. That's our biggest page, at CLT.Living, and then also at Diggs_designs.
Perfect. I appreciate you guys, and it's really been, we have like a little bit of, knowing before, but I'm really get to know the business and you guys for sure. So
I
if you
know
want to stay in touch for sure, I'm looking forward to whatever you guys got coming up.
Thank you. We're
Yeah.
really excited. This was fun to do, just like reconnect and everything.
Yeah.
It's Big Mouthy.